and welcome back to my channel. It's Ivy, and if you are subscribed to my channel, you may know that I have been gone for quite some time. I haven't posted in probably over a month, and there's several reasons for that, but one of the reasons is because I did a 10-day silent meditation course, and today I just want to share my experience and how it has transformed my life and my way of thinking and my meditation practice. So if you know of Vipassana, or if you want to learn about Vipassana and the 10-day silent meditation course, press the like button below so I know that you're interested in this topic. I do actually plan on making a second video about some of the misconceptions about doing a 10-day Vipassana meditation course, but I definitely want to know if you all are interested in that, so let me know by pressing the like button below. If you don't know about Vipassana, it is a meditation technique that was founded by the Buddha of India about 100 years ago. Goenka is the teacher that has moved it through the United States, and I'm so grateful for him and his teachings. He was the teacher throughout the course, even though he did pass away in 2013. So they were using recordings of his meditations and his discourses each evening, and then there were assistant teachers on site who kind of helped guide us all through the process. But basically, Vipassana is a meditation technique that gets you in touch with the subtle sensations in your body that are attached to negative, traumatic experiences in your life, grievances that you go through, and also positive experiences that kind of create that craving sensation that we want more and more of, not only in this life, your current life, but also in past lives. So during the meditation course, we are getting in touch with those subtle sensations that are buried within the subconscious mind and within the body, and kind of helping bring those to the surface so that we are working towards our own salvation. We are healing our past traumas. We are disconnecting from things that we actually have enjoyed in our lives that have created cravings. And the whole purpose is to get closer to a sense of enlightenment, to get to a sense of that inner happiness, that inner peace that is unbreakable and unshakable. So I'm so grateful for my opportunity to experience Vipassana, to experience this 10 days in silence, and everything that came up with it. It was not easy, and it was not necessarily fun either, but it was a powerful experience that I am so grateful that I pushed myself through. And I hope to inspire anyone who has interest in it, or just wants to evolve spiritually or evolve in their meditation practice, to learn more about it and potentially try it yourself. Goenka Ji had one quote that I really admired during the whole course, and that is that we have to work out our own salvation. That's something that stuck in my mind the whole time because it is so powerful and it reigns so true. For me, I am someone who grew up in a Christian church and in a Christian home. My father is a pastor. I don't necessarily consider myself Christian at this point. However, I do honor all religions, including Christianity, and I definitely feel like it was a beneficial part of my life and my upbringing. But as Christians in the South where I grew up, we are taught, and our families have been taught for generations, to take our problems to the altar, to hand it all over to Jesus, to hand it all over to God. And in some ways that helps people, yet you still continue to see these nagging patterns of pain, clinging, and craving that pass down from generation to generation in families. And sometimes it passes down as an actual habit or behavior or addiction, but it also sometimes passes down in the form of disease. So we often think that we have hereditary diseases, and in some cases that's true, but in a lot of cases those diseases that tend to pop up from one generation to the next is really an underlying trauma, an underlying pain that has not been resolved on the energetic level. You know, in my interpretation, part of this work is generational healing. It is bloodline healing, and it is also just healing for our own lives. You know, we go through so much in our own lives, and we carry it with us. Things that happened to us in our childhood continue to affect us as adults until we revisit them and we're able to really witness it from an objective point of view and allow it to be healed and allow it to come up to the surface and pass away without holding on to it. So it's so important for us to do this spiritual work, to do this energetic work, to clear out some of that minutia that keeps us from enlightenment, that keeps us from that everlasting state of happiness, that everlasting state of peace that we refer to in the Bible as the peace that surpasses all understanding. It is possible and it is available to you, but you do have to do the work. So I'm, again, so grateful for the opportunity to have really worked through my own crap for 10 days. With that being said, this 10 days in silence is no joke. It was difficult, it was hard, it was annoying, it was so many things. And I would definitely recommend it to so many who are interested in clearing some of their energetic karma and energetic weight, and who are just interested in deepening their spiritual practice or their meditation practice. However, I would only suggest it to those who are really serious about taking their spiritual journey to the next level, because it's not easy. Some people do not finish the 10 days of the course. So in the course that I did, there were actually about 45 women, I think, and about 30 something men. And I know that 3 women left, and I think about 3 men left. So we're separated, men and women, so I only really witnessed what was going on the women's side. But you could tell that the women who left were a little less strong-willed, or maybe had some health issues. So, there's no judgment to the people who left. They can definitely try again in the future, and it just may not have been for them at that time in their life. But it is something that you really have to mentally prepare for and stick out. And when you do stick out those 10 days, you will be grateful for it, but it was not easy. So just to break down what all goes into this, you do not have your cell phone, any electronic devices. You agree not to journal, so you hand off any journals or writing materials. You're not doing anything like art or anything like crafty stuff that can distract you from the mind. You're asked not to do yoga or any exercises, mainly because you are with a group of people who are doing this together, and that is just another way that you can distract yourself or others. So there's nothing really to do but meditate, and you are meditating for about 100 hours over this 10 days. Some of those hours you can kind of skip out on if you want, but you are meditating a lot, and there are 3 1-hour meditation periods per day where you are asked to sit the whole hour and stay in the meditation hall. So you're definitely getting 3 hours of solid meditation every day, and then the other parts of meditation during the day you can leave, but I feel like if you sign up for this, you really try your best to stick it out. It's intense. You also, again, are around other people. Women are in one area, they have a separate dining hall and a separate living space, and the men have their separate dining hall and living space. Men and women have their own separate walking paths in nature, so you're really separated. The only time you do see the men is in the group meditations in the meditation hall. They're on one side and the women are on the other. So you're around all these women, or if you're a man, you're around all these men, but you're still not able to speak to them. You're asked not to make eye contact or even gestures towards them. So you're really just meant to kind of be in your own space and kind of act like you're alone. And it's difficult, and then sometimes, I felt like this is stupid. Like, I could be writing. This is the perfect time to journal. I don't have anything else to do. My mind is more clear. But after going through the 10 days, I do really see the value in it, and I would urge you to really follow the rules and really give it your all if you do the 10-day meditation, because there is so much power in really having no distractions and clearing your mind. Coming back, I've been back for about 1 week, and I have already noticed how the distractions are already affecting my meditation practice. So just giving it up for 10 days, it really allows you to sharpen your mind so that you can really get into those subtle sensations in your body. But if you're distracted by talking, if you're distracted by your devices, if you're distracted by writing, reading, any of that. It takes away your mind's ability to really focus in on the technique, and you're really there for the technique. You're there to do that work. And the other reason why I say it's difficult is because you are working. The technique is not just something you sit back and you know, drift off into nothingness. You are doing a technique, and it's not necessarily easy. It's also not necessarily easy to sit in a meditation posture for 1 or more hours at a time. I am also someone who can, you know, be in solitude and be silent. Naturally, I'm an introvert, and I can kind of be a loner sometimes, so that part wasn't that hard for me. But I think if you're an extrovert and you thrive on interaction with people, the silence part, the not interacting with other people part can be difficult. I'm a natural observer, and I did observe some people. I could tell, especially as we got closer to day 8, day 9, day 10, they were ready to break their silence, and they were so, like, you can just tell people are looking for opportunities to connect with people. I started noticing that people were mimicking other people because, in my opinion, they were really just not used to that silence. So it's work on different levels, and the challenges will be different for different people because we all have different types of traumas and cravings and aversions that we are all working through. So no one's experience is the same, but everyone will find this challenging. Whatever your triggers are, they will likely be heightened during this period. I had a lot of thoughts running through my mind, and I think everyone does, because you have nothing to distract you. So whatever thoughts are there, they're going to be loud and annoying. I had a lot of recurring thoughts going through my mind, and it was really annoying, and I just wanted it to go away. But I also was triggered by people around me in the meditation hall. The girl beside me, she was just a yawner, and I swear I wanted to tap her so many times and just say, could you please stop yawning? Like, this is annoying. And she wasn't covering her mouth. And, you know, these are just little things that really don't matter in the grand scheme of things, but they help reveal yourself to you. They help reveal to you what types of things you cling to and hold on to that don't matter, and really lead to your overarching agony in life. You know, I'm sitting in meditation and I'm annoyed because this girl keeps moaning. Like, why are you moaning? We're supposed to be in silence, and you have all these other people around you meditating, and you're going to sit here moaning. Like, really? And then I have the yawner, and she's yawning, and it's just like, you know, I could tell that it was something that was kind of like a coping method, I think, for her. All these thoughts are running through my mind. Like, she probably has some type of illness because she's a frequent yawner. And and she doesn't know. And then I'm thinking about, like, when this is over, I'm going to need to tell her that she's a frequent yawner. Where I don't need to tell her that, because that's really just creating something that the teacher talks about, which is called a sankhara. And a sankhara is a conditioned mental pattern, and it would really just create another negative sankhara for me to talk to this girl about how she's a frequent yawner and it's annoying and blah blah blah. And I wouldn't have said it was annoying, but still, you know, it's unnecessary, and it's unnecessary for me to focus on it. But I found myself focusing on it a lot and allowing it to annoy me. So one thing that I learned, and I will take away from the 10-day meditation course, is really just tolerance. Being able to tolerate life as it is. I'm not on this planet alone, and there are going to be people who do things that are foreign to me, that are uncomfortable to me based on how I was raised and how I act in my own life. But for me to allow myself to be agitated by them is really unnecessary, and it's only going to create agony for me, and potentially agony for me and someone else if I decide to bring them into that pain and that annoyance and that agitation. So, you know, this type of meditation, it opens you up to so many different layers of yourself that you don't pay attention to in your day-to-day life when you're distracted by everything else Days 1 through 3 are normally really challenging for people from what I've heard, but they were really a breeze for me, mainly because I had 2 people that I was able to talk to that have done it before, and they were able to kind of let me know how difficult it was going to be and really encourage me to just stick through it. So the first 3 days, I was just like, yeah, this is hard, but I know this was going to be hard and I'm going to stick through it. I was motivated, and it was annoying mainly because the first 3 days you're just observing your breath in meditation. So it is kind of boring, and I didn't know if that was what we were going to be doing all 10 days. I was like, this is not going to get me there. Like, this is not deep enough. This is just the most basic of meditations. You are in silence, however, you do get to have short interviews with the assistant teachers. So I did have an interview with the teacher, and I just let her know, like, I'm a little confused as to what's taking place here, and is this all there is? And she let me know that the meditation technique was going to graduate over time. So yes, the first 3 days are just an Anapana breathing meditation, which is really just observing the breath. But then on day 4, you learn the Vipassana technique. Day 4 and 5, I was really more in observing mode. That is when the 3 women left. I was kind of just observing that and feeling that out. Day 6 was literally the hardest day for me there. That is the day I really wanted to leave. I was really annoyed. People were agitating me, and I was just counting down the days. I didn't feel like I packed appropriately because I was actually on the waiting list, and I got accepted really shortly before the course started. I was noticing that I didn't have everything I would have liked to be prepared, and I was kind of just over it. Like, I was like, yeah, I got this meditation thing, I can just go home now. I would like to write in my journal, whatever. But I pushed through it. I just felt like overall I'm already here, I'm gonna accomplish this goal. I felt like it was something to be accomplished, and I would at least be proud of myself for pushing through it. Day 8 and 9 were easier because at that point my countdown was getting less. I'm like, yes, I only have 2 more days here. I only have 1 more night that I have to spend here, and then I can leave. Day 9, I found out that we did not actually leave on day 10, but we left on day 11. That was really like a shocker because I was like, listen, I had already set up mentally that I was only going to spend 1 more night here, and I was leaving on the morning of day 10. And I could have sworn that the teacher had said that one day. I was really ready to go. But no, it's actually a 12-day process. The first day you get there in the evening, and then day 1 is the next day, and then you're there on day 10, but you really leave on day 11. So be prepared to be there really for 12 days. I didn't know about all that, so I was on the wait list, and I just showed up. Days 8 and 9, I was just like, okay, countdown, let's get it. But also those days, I would say days 7 through 10, I was really focused more on really putting my all into the Vipassana meditation, because I'm like, yeah, I'm only here for 3 more days. I'm only here for 2 more days. And at that point, you do begin to see the value of the Vipassana meditation, how those sensations are really magnetizing in your meditation practice, and you really see how things do come up. I wish I could put into words, how the sensations turned into more in the meditation practice, but it's really just my experience, and I don't want to project that on anyone else because everyone's meditation experience is going to be different. And it's really about staying equanimous, keeping a balanced mind, not being persuaded on whether a sensation that comes up in meditation is good or bad, not being focused on that, but rather just allowing it to come up and to really observe it objectively. And then on day 10, we were able to start talking again, and we were also able to commingle with the men a little bit. So it was really an interesting experience to be able to actually connect with all of these women that you had just been like living amongst for 10 days but not able to really get to know. To be able to talk with them on day 10, it was just like, and it was a lot. Going 10 days without talking and then going back into talking, I actually had a lot of throat pain that night and the next day. It was a lot of energy for everybody to just go back into talking. So that was an interesting experience in and of itself. It was also beautiful just to meet everyone, because we were all there in that same 10-day meditation together for a reason, and we all got through it, and that was just beautiful. So I'm just grateful for everyone that was there. I think other people being there also helps you stick through it, because paying attention to just the way that people managed themselves throughout the process, and some of them actually were helping me stay accountable. If I happened to open my eyes during meditation, which you really shouldn't be doing, but I did sometimes, and I would see, someone or other people really staying strong in their meditation posture, that would keep me motivated to okay, stick it out, straighten up, and just push through it. I can't say it the way the teacher says it, but Anniture was a word. The teacher used it a lot in meditation, and it means impermanence. Everything is impermanent. And if anything, I want to send that message out to everybody who is watching this. Just recognize that everything is impermanent, and the more that we focus on different stimuli in our environment and allow it to either create negative emotions for us or even positive emotions for us, we tend to either cling and crave to those positive emotions or have aversions to those negative emotions. But when we recognize that everything is impermanent, it helps us to keep this equanimous mindset, and that allows for more peace, more happiness, more flow. It gets us closer to enlightenment and more in touch with the now moment, which is all we really have. Focus on the impermanence of everything and allow what is to be without too much attachment to any emotions, to anything that arises, and you are that much closer to that inner peace. At the end of every session, the teacher would state a phrase, a mantra, Bhavantu Sabba Mangalang. I didn't pronounce that correctly, but basically it means may all beings be happy. And that sounds so simple, and it is, but I do wish that for all of you. And at its core, the practice of Vipassana is really about... My camera died, so I had to switch cameras. But ultimately, this technique is a practice that leads to inner wisdom and inner peace by knowing thyself on an experiential level, getting to the truth of yourself and your beingness on the subtlest levels to bring about that real happiness, that real peace that's unbreakable and unshakable. And I wish that for all of you. I am going to leave the information about the Dhamma Patapa Center. There are these Vipassana centers all around the world, and they offer 10 or longer days, like 10 days, 20 days, and 30 days, silent meditation courses. And honestly, this is a free service. This whole operation is run by volunteers. I was really impressed. I mean, the food is delicious, and you have really decent housing. Everything that you need for 10 days is afforded to you for free. You do have the opportunity to give a donation. You can donate through money or through service after you do your 10 days. I did go to the one in South Georgia, so that was an experience in and of itself. But the space has clearly been energetically, vibrationally lifted. I mean, the energy is very nice there. There are butterflies everywhere. There's this beautiful pond with these beautiful fish. I'll try to insert some images here. The meditation hall is, nice. I'll try to show a little bit of that. But they also have these really cool meditation cells where you can go in individually and meditate on your own. Gives you a little bit more privacy. It allows you to get a little bit more in your zone. There's this beautiful nature path for you to walk on. Again, there's one for women and there's one for men. The nature path was amazing, but just know that you need to wrap up because the mosquitoes back there get crazy. The food, again, was amazing. Like, all vegan, vegetarian food. You do get a great breakfast and a great lunch, but dinner is really just coffee, tea, and fruit. So sort of an intermittent fasting thing going on, but you're not able to do like 100% fasting because that's just another distraction, and they're not set up for people to be just doing straight water fasts. I know some of my subscribers do water fast, so this is not a place to do that, but they do kind of keep the food light towards the end of the day, and that really does help the meditation practice. If you do have questions, leave them below. Again, I'm going to make a separate video on some of the misconceptions about the 10-day Vipassana course, so stay tuned for that. Definitely like this video, comment, and again, subscribe. Remember that all things are impermanent, and what is real is what is taking place now. Peace.